Hey everybody, appreciate you tuning in. Today I want to talk about real estate investment operations. Okay, so some of you have seen my stuff in the past. It's Luther Wilson III. I'm a real estate professional here in the Kansas City market. Upside Property Services is my brokerage, and I invest and I work with other real estate investors. And so I've been at it, working closely, somewhat closely, on and off with investors, doing some type of sales or management or marketing or renovations or something in the real estate investment space since 2011. And so over the years, I've been able to connect with a lot of different people and learn a lot of different things and grow as an entrepreneur. So it's been pretty amazing. And so now things are a little different in the market. We're in fourth quarter 2024. Today's Monday, December 9th. And if you've seen some of my stuff, my past videos, active on social media, doing different posts and whatnot, I talk about, or at least I have been lately, talking about the three main aspects for real estate investors. You got capital, you got strategy, and you got operations. And I've been talking a lot more about capital and the financing, the private equity, gap funds, and so forth quite a bit lately. And I've touched on strategy a bit. A lot of y'all know I like creative financing, seller finance transactions, but I want to get more into the operations because I think that's where we have faced a lot of challenges. I think that's where a lot of investors end up fumbling the bag somehow. And that's where some of the biggest pain points are, having to deal with the operations. And so when I think about some of the main facets of a real estate investing business, when it comes to the operations, you got acquisitions, you got renovations, and then you have dispositions or property management, okay? And so acquisitions, of course, purchasing properties. You could lump marketing, however that looks, into that acquisition process as well. And then for those that are doing renovation projects for fix and flip, or maybe you're rehabbing properties to keep for the long term, however that looks, you got the renovation process. And in that, I might lump maintenance a little bit. And then next up, you got dispositions for the resell, right? So if you're fixing and flipping, that's a key part. So whether you're doing that on your own or with a real estate agent, and then if you are keeping properties, you got to figure out the asset management or the property management, which could also include maintenance and so forth. And so those are the main things that I look at when we're talking about real estate investment operations, okay? And so as a business owner, if you're growing a portfolio, if you're holding properties, even if you're just fixing and flipping, you're in business, whether you have an entity or not. And the operations of the business is key. Getting your systems and your processes down is part of that. And then also based on your skill set, your talent, your knowledge level, and then also how much time and energy that you have, you're gonna have to determine which aspects of the business that you focus on and which aspects that you end up hiring out for, okay? What you can take on, all right, because people are working, like a lot of the investors, majority of the investors that I know, they are working, either they have at least one other business that they own and run, or they may have a W-2 job or some type of salary job that they're working, and they have their families and their personal lives. It's tough to be able to do all of that and try to run your real estate investing business by yourself. Like, it's impossible, basically. So figuring that out as far as the operations go, what you can take on yourself, and then determining, do you want to delegate or outsource or hire for certain aspects, or do you want to collaborate or do some type of joint venture partnership, which I'm real big on, and I'll get into more of that a little bit later. But again, I want to educate, inspire, collaborate. That's part of my mission. I want to be able to share my insights and knowledge and experience when it comes to real estate investing, what it's really like, okay, to, not just find deals, but to get them acquired and then going through that whole process. And so again, like, the operations is critical. And a lot of it, I didn't know, my clients and my colleagues, other people in the space, we really didn't know until we got into it. Until we, maybe even found the deal. Then we a lot of times figure out the financing. Then if we're gonna, rehab the property to sell it or to keep it, then we have to figure out how it's gonna be working with a contractor and outsourcing different things. And then even beyond that, the resale, okay, if you're gonna list your own properties and you're a realtor, that's fantastic. But a lot of times we're not in that space. Investors aren't in that space. So you got to learn how to work with your realtors and then all the contracts and the paperwork and so forth. That's just on the resale. If you're going to keep the properties, a lot of times initially investors are going to hire a third-party property manager. And then from there, again, depending on how they want to live, how you want to live, like, because this stuff, there's a lot that goes into this thing. And again, I didn't know, a lot of us we don't know until you either learn it and get into it. Even if you learn it, you could study till you're blue in the face, but until you get in the trenches and start making some things happen, you're really not going to know. So hopefully this is encouraging some of y'all to go ahead and keep going, get some reps out there. Hit me up or someone in your market, wherever you're looking to invest, and figure out how you can make that happen. I had a call with a gentleman a few days ago. We spoke for about an hour. We're probably going to do that once a month because he wants to do real estate. He's trying to figure out how he can make that happen. He wants to invest. Okay, so that's a key part, the education, the mentorship, and then figuring out how you can get in. All right. And so I brought notes again because I knew I was going to go a few different directions with this. Okay, so I talked about acquisitions, renovations, and dispositions, and then property management if you're going to keep the properties. What parts to outsource, okay, and then how much of it you can handle in-house, all right? And then when it comes to the operations also, you got general management of the people, the properties, and the business itself, okay? So the properties, of course, the renovation and the management. The people, how are you and the people involved in your business, whether it's a resident or a tenant or a contractor, you name it, how are you moving through that process, okay? And then the business itself, because a lot of times you're gonna have an LLC, it could be another type of entity that requires some management. So that's part of the operations as well. And so a big thing that I've been proposing and looking at and doing, I didn't even realize I was doing it years ago, was private equity, joint venture partnerships. That is a huge way for investors to get more involved. And so if you're serious about investing or at least wanting to learn more about real estate investing, especially here in the Kansas City market, it doesn't necessarily have to be here or with me, but learning about how you can make that happen. I'm open to doing a strategy session. And of course, if you're looking heavily or want to dig in deeper in Kansas City, we're seeing opportunities on the single family home side of the business as well as on multifamily. So plug in with me, all right? It's Luther Wilson III, Upside Property Services. I'm looking to take on at least 2 or 3 more clients the end of this year, rolling into 2025. I only have so much capacity, and I'm looking to collaborate, potentially do some more joint venture partnerships and helping more investors, make that vision a reality. All right, that's it for today. Have a blessed day. Peace.